right, folks, before we get into this, let's talk about the difference between now and what we had before. Under Trump, we finally have a president who's not going to let other countries rip off America. So when Canada, yes, Canada, threatens to cut off our electricity, Trump stands strong and makes it clear, not on his watch. Let's roll the clip and see how this plays out.
Are there conversations between the administration and the Canadians going on over this tariff? Because the Ontario Premier says the next step is to cut off electricity to the U.S.
And the president put out a statement after seeing those comments and said that it would be there would be grave consequences imposed on Canada if they think about shutting off electricity for the United States of America and our citizens. And the president is also determined to ensure that we are depending on American electricity, not the electricity production of foreign nations, including our allies in Canada. As for conversations, there is continued correspondence between the president's team, particularly Secretary Lutnick, and the Canadians as well.
What? Hold on a second. Canada, the land of maple syrup and polite smiles, is now threatening to cut off electricity to the United States? Are we really doing this now? The Premier of Ontario thinks this is some kind of bargaining chip? Give me a break. And what does President Trump do? He doesn't sit around and ask politely. Nope. He comes out with a statement saying there will be grave consequences if Canada even thinks about pulling this stunt. Let's get one thing straight here. Trump isn't about to let a foreign country, especially one that claims to be an ally, hold us hostage over something as basic as power. And he's right to say that America needs to depend on American electricity, not the whims of Canada or any other foreign nation. We should have been building up our own energy sources all along, but no, here we are squabbling over power like it's some kind of international crisis. And then there is this. In retaliation for Canada's decision to impose steep tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, steel, and aluminum last year, China announced tariffs of up to 100% on Canadian canola, pork, seafood, and other agricultural products. These tariffs, set to take effect on March 20, 2025, are also a warning to Canada and Mexico not to collaborate with the U.S. on trade. The tariffs include 100% duties on canola oil, meal, and peas, as well as 25% on Canadian pork and seafood. This comes after Canada's 100% tariff on Chinese electric cars and 25% on Chinese steel and aluminum in October 2024. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce urged Canada to lift these restrictions, but Canada had no immediate comment. Now, let's step back and think about this for a moment, because this is about much more than just trade between two countries. It's about ensuring that the U.S. gets its own house in order. When President Trump talks about tariff policy, it's not just about punishing one nation or another. It's about taking a long-term approach to rebuilding American manufacturing. And let's be honest, folks, we need it. You know why tariffs are necessary? Because we can't keep relying on countries like China, or Canada for that matter, to dictate our economic future. These tariffs are about forcing other nations to play by our rules and ensure America isn't taken advantage of. It's about securing our future. This isn't just a tax on goods. It's a strategic move to get our manufacturing base back where it belongs, right here in the U.S. Look at small towns across America. Places that were once thriving now looks like a shadow of themselves. When President Trump talks about making the U.S. a manufacturing superpower, it's not some pipe dream. It's about bringing American factories back home, bringing jobs back to American workers, and producing goods right here that we can export to the world. And guess what? The revenue stays here, the jobs stay here, the wages go up here. Look at Detroit, Michigan, once a powerhouse of American manufacturing, and North Carolina, which used to have a booming furniture industry. Both of these places have been gutted by globalist trade policies that ship jobs overseas. The president's tariff policy, it's all about ensuring that those jobs come back, and we don't have to rely on foreign nations like China, or Canada for that matter, to dictate our economic future. This is about strengthening our country, our economy, and ensuring we remain a global powerhouse. So, what do you think? Canada's threatening to cut off electricity to the U.S. while simultaneously pointing fingers at American tariffs? Hypocritical, or just part of their strategy? Do you think the tariffs are a good move to bring back American manufacturing, or is it just causing more tension? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button if you agree with taking a stand, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell for more videos. See you in the next one.